On the first day of March 2026, the skies over Iran erupted for a second time as Israeli warplanes launched a devastating new wave of strikes against the Islamic Republic's most critical military infrastructure. The Israeli Defense Forces confirmed that this second wave specifically targeted Iranian ballistic missile arrays and air defense systems, the very backbone of Tehran's ability to protect itself and project power across the Middle East. Unlike the first wave, which focused heavily on leadership targets and command centers in Tehran, this follow-up operation struck deep into western and central Iran, hitting launch sites that had survived the initial barrage completely untouched. Within minutes of the Israeli military's announcement, Iran's own Mehr news agency reported two powerful explosions rocking the capital city of Tehran, confirming that the assault had penetrated Iranian airspace yet again. The strategic logic behind targeting air defense systems first is a doctrine America pioneered in the Gulf War. Destroy the enemy's eyes and shield, and every subsequent strike becomes exponentially more devastating. By systematically dismantling Iran's missile defense network, Israel was effectively blinding Tehran, ensuring that future waves of attacks would face virtually no resistance from the ground below. This second wave came as part of a joint U.S.-Israeli military operation that had begun just hours earlier with a massive opening barrage of missiles and airstrikes that shook cities across the entire country. The first wave had already proven catastrophic for Iran's senior leadership, with Israel confirming the elimination of 7 high-ranking officials, including the commander of the Revolutionary Guard Corps and the Minister of Defense. President Donald Trump, commanding the operation from a secure facility at Mar-a-Lago, declared on Truth Social that Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei himself had been killed, calling him one of the most evil people in history. While Iran denied earlier reports of Khamenei's death, satellite imagery revealed extensive damage and thick black smoke rising from the Supreme Leader's compound in the heart of Tehran. Iranian state media would later confirm that Khamenei's own daughter, son-in-law, and grandchild had perished in the strikes, a devastating blow to the ruling family even as Tehran refused to confirm the Supreme Leader's fate. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told the world there were many signs that Khamenei was no longer alive, and urged the Iranian people to flood the streets and seize this historic opportunity to topple the regime. Iran attempted to strike back with everything it had left, launching retaliatory missiles and drones at U.S. military bases across the Persian Gulf, including the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet stationed in Bahrain. Tehran's counterattack spread across the entire region, striking targets in Kuwait, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and launching missiles directly at residential areas in Tel Aviv, killing 1 person and injuring 22 others. The United Arab Emirates bore a significant share of Iran's retaliation, with 346 missiles and drones fired at its territory, though Emirati forces successfully intercepted the vast majority before they could reach their targets. The U.S. military reported minimal damage and 0 American casualties from Iran's retaliatory strikes, a stark contrast to the hundreds of Iranian dead and the systematic destruction of Tehran's military apparatus. Trump made clear this was far from over, announcing that heavy and precision bombing would continue uninterrupted throughout the entire week, or as long as necessary to achieve the complete objective of regime change. The most devastating single incident of the operation was an Israeli strike on a girls' elementary school in Minab, southern Iran, which killed 108 children, a tragedy that sent shockwaves across the international community. As hundreds of protesters gathered outside the White House and world leaders called for restraint, Iran's foreign minister insisted that regime change was mission impossible, even as his government requested an emergency meeting of the International Atomic Energy Agency. With Iran's air defenses systematically dismantled, its senior leadership shattered, and American firepower showing no signs of relenting, the second wave marked the moment the Islamic Republic's ability to defend itself began to collapse entirely.